What's up, good people? How are you doing? Oh my goodness. Welcome to this episode of the Hello Africa podcast. This is where we have conversations that stir up change, bring out our wealth, as well as give visible hope. Yes, and we get to continue with the conversation on good leadership and its almost inevitable capacity to transform society. And again, we have Tosh.
Hey.
We just want to continue with that conversation. We felt like ilisha tu mahali hanging.
Yeah,
but it was a very amazing and incredible conversation.
Yeah.
And Tosh, I remember we left it at family,
very important. Yeah.
And why leadership actually begins from that level, and our mindset and our view of leadership begins from that level. So I think this is just to charge us that let's go back to our childhood and think, okay, where did I have a distorted mindset of this, and what do I do to change it? Because sometimes we have unconscious bias of these things.
Very true.
But then for those who are raising and bringing up children, to understand that, these are not just children, but they are propellers of vision. Tosh, what do you have to say about that?
Children are very, very powerful people. They see. The quote of monkey see, monkey do. They observe a lot. The kalongolongo that you see them play.
By the way, it's a whole imitation of family.
So you'll hear a lady, child, saying, a girl saying, na moshizo vyombo rakaraka mweki kwa sink. The mom does that, you know. You'll hear the father say, asain saya kulala. And children tend to imitate their parents. So if as parents we have the biggest obligation to be able to understand what are we feeding our children? How can we mold them to be better people? How can they be resilient? How are we introducing social media to their space? Or tech. How are you introducing tech to their space? These conversations of how do you invest? How do you become a business person? What is their talent? Parents need to observe their children to a level whereby they're able to know if my child is a creative person or an A student. So if it is a creative person, how am I molding them to be creative? If it's an A student, how am I putting them in those spaces? Parents should be able to go an extra mile to ask a child, who's your mentor? And create that space for them. For example, I want to be a pilot. What conversations am I having with my friends?
Hi, MK.
To introduce my children to a pilot. You get? And to tell this pilot, walk with my child. In terms of spiritual perspective, am I observing them pray? Am I teaching them how to pray? Am I telling them to create time to read the Bible? What am I doing to be able to, and even if I'm doing that as a leader, as a father, am I creating time for myself to read the Bible, to pray, and to do everything? So it is monkey see, monkey do. So what they are seeing, if I'm doing it, then bravo.
They will automatically do it.
I usually say this: if a father goes to church, everyone goes to church. If a father doesn't go to church, no one cares.
No one goes to church.
Even if a mother is just going to church, the father is just there watching maybe sports or does his thing on Sunday. And that is wrong. A father needs to lead. A father needs to lead. Making the bed is one of the easiest task in the world. If you can wake up in the morning, I know people assume, but imagine just waking up and making your bed. That is the first application, job application. It is right on your nose. You just wake up and make that bed, make it neat, and when you kneel down, you pray. You get those two things are very important before, instead of just waking up, getting into social media, moving around the house, and poof, you are gone. The first 15 minutes, 5 minutes make bed, 5 minutes that ani mingi. Make your bed.
Unless you know you're a lady and you have those long nails and
but you know, make that bed. Pray in the morning. You know, just tell God asante.
Tosh, I remember someone who says that they usually put their slippers uko chini. Ndio akiamka lazima anil kuzichukua alafu anaomba.
That is Denzel Washington. He said it. He said, I usually put my slippers uko chini ya bed kabisa. When I wake up, I remember to pray. Simple things.
I really love that, Tosh. And when you're having that conversation, you keep going back to the conversation of fathers. And I don't know if you just want to look at the people and the audience and just take a minute and call out men. Just encourage them, but also just a reminder that what's the responsibility of a man in leadership? Because I think it also starts there. I think when we have the conversation of leadership, even as a continent, it's good to toke kwa ile place you're just looking at our political leaders and saying, oh, what they're doing and what they're not doing. But also let's talk about the role of men in the society and really just how it has felt.
Men are very important in the society.
Yes.
They're the most attacked, the most vulnerable. The most people that are depressed are men.
I'm telling you, Tosh, most people in prisons, men.
It
doesn't even,
there's a lady who asked me, where are men? And I told her, they're in two spaces. On the grave and in the prison. Those are the only two places you'll find them. Because why grave? He gave up. There was no one to back him up.
So it's not even sometimes physical death.
It is.
It's even emotional vision death. Because when there's no vision, by the way, people perish.
And you see, what propels a man is achievement. It can be as simple as I'm a taxi driver. That achievement propels him to be the best person in that space. It can be a simple thing as I'm a dancer. So that being a dancer propels him, makes him become better, makes him become resilient, makes him become the best person in that space. So competition to men is like an inborn thing. They don't compete to outdo, but they compete to shine. To be to rule, to be kings. Their kingdom. They like it when men introduce themselves by what they do. And they don't say it verbally. You'll hear ladies say it. In fact, a lady will say, my man is an engineer. So we don't say it, but we do to become.
Wow.
My man is an actor. So when a lady introduces a man and says, my man is a camera guy, she's not saying it from a point of just a camera guy, but she's saying it from a point of, this is where he shines. This is where he reigns. And us men, we don't introduce ourselves by our spaces. I don't go tell Victor I'm an actor. Victor sees it.
Yes.
And we act as a referral point. So men are built to be achievers. Men are built to be prophets. We talk.
You declare things.
I want by this time, I want us to be here. I want my family to be here. We prophesy. We have hope. We have faith. Faith and hope are our cup of cake. We talk about what we want to achieve in 10 years. And those people who keep us accountable are the ladies. Uliniambia utanioa. Bora hujanioa. Ulisema mbona
5 years.
And over and above that, people take our second name and run with it. So if I'm Kamau, my wife will take Kamau as a second name, give off her name and take my name. My children will take my name. Everyone will take up my name. That means that these people that are behind me are purposely, intentionally looking up to me to be able to create that vision so well, so that at the end of the day, they bank on that name. So there are spaces if you go to and say, mimi ni mtoto wa nani? Wewe ni mtoto wa nani? Ingia. Because that level of respect is automatically regained in the family.
Gosh. That's incredible. I hope that every man out there feels encouraged and also called out. But also as you're speaking, I'm like looking at our situation as a nation and even just as a continent. What are the pieces that need to move for a man to take his place and his role, not from a place of pride, not from a place of hiding the emotion. Sometimes I feel like men, in a bid to hide their pain and their heart and their emotions, they become overachievers. They overcompensate, but with the wrong things. The prestige, the number of women I have, the number of titles I have. But really, what's the heart behind the leadership of a man? How do you attain it? And how do you become so content in that? Because amazing, we are going to get there. This second line of thought, another thing that was coming into mind when we talked about men determine even the wave of how women follow in a society. For example, even this whole thing of ladies thinking that their bodies are more precious than any other thing. If the men value the body of a woman more than any other thing in them, the lady is gonna think, this person values this, then let me show this. Because that's what I think men need to understand, because sometimes I feel like men are always pointing fingers and saying, you women are doing this and da 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 da. But sometimes I feel like it falls back to the man tosh. I feel like what a man glorifies, because ladies naturally are nurturers, and we tend to fall into the leadership of the men guiding us, Very true. I feel like the pace that men set in a society determines how the women are coming up, determines how the children are coming up. And so why this conversation is important is to say we are not at a good place as a nation and as Africans.
Very true.
But then it's to say, if we are going to start moving pieces, then let's go back to the head. Where are the men? What mindset needs to change in the man? What heart posture needs to change in the man? Because automatically, as that keeps changing, you will find that the women will follow suit. You'll find that the children will follow suit. You know?
It is true. No, it's true. Disclaimer.
Please.
The society, the nation is broken.
Yes.
The knowledge that has been spread through the years has made us be absent.
Okay.
I'm saying this from a perspective of men. Men are shying away because of the knowledge that have been spread.
Okay.
Which is not true. Men cry. The only question is how. So the how has been asked so much that there's no understanding of the how.
In the shower.
So that how is something that the people are trying to understand how. But you can't take a fish out of the sea and you ask, when does it cry?
Wow.
But the fish cries in the sea. It is only that we can't see.
No bad puns in this podcast, guys. No bad puns.
When does the lion feel that he's weak? He can't do anything. He's tied. When does the lion die? As much as he's the king of the jungle. So people have spread a certain knowledge and certain questions that they question the process. But men are very emotional. The only difference is the way we express our emotions is questionable, because how? But we do. I can go and talk to Victor without even saying that my marriage is bad. I can just sit with him, watch a game, and I'm done expressing my emotions.
Aywa baba.
You know.
What about crying?
I can even go and tell him. Hey, yo, me and my wife are just having issues and I don't know what to do. And the guy, Victor, will tell me, Tosh, let's pray. Without going into details. Hey, mazali ni nyima spoon, imagine sijui. And there we see. The fact that I have this gentleman just backing me up, we call them generals. When a general is leading soldiers, I know it is a conversation that, trust you me, to date, people are trying to find out how do men express their emotions. And that, to be honest, where I'm sitting, my opinion is it will be something that people will look for it till death do them apart. Because men are different. How we process information, how we sit and think about us. It is something that we also do not understand how we can heal fast from a broken relationship. How it is, because most of the things that happen in us is external. It is not internal. We don't go deep. We go deep when things that make men cry, those things are deep. And they're not just deep, they are very deep. Very deep. Very deep to an extent, they can commit suicide. Because they don't know how. And they don't understand why they are committing suicide. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Hi ladies.
For example, when a man says I will cross oceans for you, he means it. Forget the other part of a joke and all that. But if you get a serious man who, I can give you an example. Look at a man who pays for someone rent, buys him a car. He does all these things, and you're like, why are you doing all these things to a lady who you have no business with? That guy there is crossing an ocean for that lady, you know. You're wondering how, eh? But yeah, those are the mileage that men can go through. So it's okay. It's okay.
Oh my God.
I know,
so funny. I think when you say that when a man says he can cross the oceans for you, he means it. I think I'll just stand because it
is well. Forget the corrupt men who use it for their own selfish ambitions. But
so funny.
A man was created to do exemplary the best.
Yeah.
And love unconditionally. And we sorry, in our space of love, it is hard to tell how we feel, but it is easy to tell how we feel. I know it's a bit complicated, but
it is.
When a man loves, he loves unconditionally. Nothing. He because we focus. We can't we can't multitask. That is why again we are caught when we play. It is easy to catch us. Because we have a routine. The way I put my button here for the last 10 years, I've been putting it. Sasa ni nini imekufanya uchange? So it is easy to catch us because we have a routine. But if the society can understand that the knowledge about men it is a point of let them be, it can be easier to understand them.
And it's easy to allow them now to just be. Yeah,
because my opinion is when you make us be ladies, then we become absent.
Oh my God.
And when we become absent, it is hard for a lady to find the right man. Because that man is crying. Anafaa kwenda huko nje tafute job, ako hapo hivi analia ati hakuna kazi. So when will he become man enough? In terms of dating, the men are not there. They are there, but they're not responsible.
Yeah.
So they're out here giving every lady a baby. And they're not willing to take up the discipline of that lady has my baby. And they can comfortably say when they meet a lady in a date, they'll say it. They'll say, naitwa Peter na mini niko na kabibi uko inje.
Yeah.
And having a baby inje, and I'm sorry, it is a normal mistake, which is a bad conversation. Every man must pick up the mantle. And any baby that is out there that is yours, you must go back and take that baby and be able to understand that baby is a symbolism of your future.
Wow.
You get?
Wow.
It is not someone to let go. Because that baby needs a direction.
They need a father.
And the mother can't give that direction. And any And I'm sorry. And any single mother was out there need to understand that baby needs to know whether the man was, whatever that man was.
Yeah.
You shouldn't hide that conversation from the baby. Just point at the baby. Let the baby make that choice and say, my mother showed me I know it is a hard conversation.
Yeah.
I know it is a conversation that people will say, Tosh, you don't know, don't stop speaking. You don't know what I went through. But it is not about you. It's about the baby.
It's about the child.
So let the child make that decision and say, oh, my father is a madman. My father is a drunkard. My father. So let them be able to forgive their father and be able to have that relationship whatsoever and make that decision when that time comes. So when it comes to relationship between a lady and a man, that is a whole diverse thing.
That's a whole but Tosh, you have mentioned something. Wow. You said that the society should stop making men to be ladies.
Yeah, they should stop.
And I think that's very key. Because when I started the conversation, I was like, what's the piece that needs to be moved?
Yes.
And so when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, this could be it.
Yeah, it is. Because when we tell our men to cry, they cry. A man will always cry to the right woman.
Oh, wow.
And a man will always cry to his wife.
Wow.
He will. He will go battle there. You see how, disclaimer, which is very important. Ladies love money. Disclaimer, it is important. Money is important. Any man that do not have money and wants to marry, there's a problem. So, money is important. Why? For sustainability and protection and all that, money is important. And security. Money, a man can't say ati mimi nakupenda but tutaona, hatuoni. Lazima
we are blind.
Yeah, your conversation lazima kuwe na kapesa fulani. Hata kama ni 100 bob unaweka kwa meza. Let her know that you are willing
kuna
to
mahali tunaanza.
Yeah. Now, men like peace. Men like peace. The way money is important to the ladies is the way peace is important to the man. I can't go out there, fight, hustle, nini. And when I come back to you, you say, hii ndio pesa uko nayo. Yani ndio, that I want peace. I want you to welcome me, hug me, give me some hot shower, put that ugali skuma on the table, tell me you are the king. Set aside a certain chair that I sit, kwa nyumba. Our families, zile kiti ya baba yako. You set aside that chair, give me water, nipapase, make sure my whole night is good. Tomorrow I'll wake up and fight for you.
Tosh, this is such an incredible conversation.
Very true.
I have learned so much myself about men.
Yeah.
And wow, thank you.
Most welcome.
I would love you to touch on this conversation. You talked about single mothers, and we deeply honor single mothers. We understand where they have been. And just to talk about the men probably who have been raised by single mothers, the Bible talks about living and cleaving to a wife. But then I feel like we get to a place where a man is conflicted between living and cleaving. Because they feel they have a responsibility towards their family. Maybe the man is the firstborn. Their mom is looking up to them. Their siblings are looking up to them. Where do you draw the line? Because you find that for such a man, maybe if the man is coming to pursue a lady, he comes as emotionally exhausted because he's already a priest somewhere else. He comes spiritually exhausted, financially exhausted. So you find that he's trying to cleave to this woman who he sees as the wife, but it's almost impossible because this woman is feeling like, but really, like, you're not giving me all of you, And sometimes the needs on this other side are actually
high.
They are justifiable. Like, what is he supposed to do? Because he also understands my mama raised me. We have gone through a lot. So there's a lot of emotional connection with the mom. And I remember someone talking about the whole thing and talking about son husbands. I don't even know what but that's what he called them. But I wonder, because I understand that that's also a very prominent conversation, prevalent conversation in such a time as this, not just in our nation, but I believe in our continent. how do we go about that? Should we say now the ladies will not date the men who, because there's an importance to really just live and cleave, have a vision of your own.
Yes.
I don't even know how to go about that.
It's now to the single mother that has a son.
Yes.
At a tender age, samaki mkunja ngali mbichi. She needs to look for a mentor, a man mentor. If the connection between the father of the son is a bit shaky, she needs to look for a male mentor to be able to say, hey, Niaje boss, I want you to work with my child. So this guy will create dates, will create, a session with this young boy so that this guy, when he grows up, he has a certain mentality of there's someone I can look up to, and this is how I handle family in general.
Wow.
So by the time is man enough to marry and to date, he understands that now I'm not coming from a point of black tax, but I'm coming from a point of appreciation, appreciating my mother for what she has done in my life.
Wow.
Not from a point of I need to give back.
Yes.
You get?
Yes.
And then he needs to empower her mother to a level whereby he introduces the mother to the wife. The mother should not introduce the wife to him. You understand?
Yes.
So that now when he's sitting as a king, he'll tell the mother that I have a queen beside me and we are one. We are neither... You don't owe me. You don't own me. You don't own me. But you own this kingdom. As I wrap it up, I'll say this. Every man that has been raised by a single mother, and now they're all grown up, they need to look for a priest. They need to look for a mentor. And they need to understand that they need to serve in a kingdom to be able to understand their position in the society.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey? Okay. Okay, I genuinely have nothing more to say concerning that. But men, it is your responsibility to look for other men who can work with you and guide you.
Yes.
I know sometimes that we wait for people to come and locate us and be like, I want to work with you. But I think you have to get to a place of maturity of saying, I'm going to approach someone and ask them to work with me because I actually need this. Thank you so much for calling out the men. This is an amazing conversation. I hope we get to have it again because I feel like there are many more pieces to move in that conversation and even get to talk about women as well. But thank you so much for joining in. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. Let's share this conversation. Let's have these conversations. Thank you so much. See you on the next one. Asanteni, and we love you so much. Yes, thank you. Yes, bye.